Was a girl running in our group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look out, buddy, hot rod at large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
Tesla. Oh, always. Tesla CEO Elon Musk is hit with a lawsuit for allowing toxic work culture. He'd been accused of this for a while. A Tesla Inc. investor accused the electric vehicle makers, officers, and directors in a lawsuit of allowing toxic workplace culture to fester at the company. Well, it's not the first time somebody said that. According to the complaint filed Thursday by stockholder Solomon Chow in federal court in Austin, Texas, that's where he's located now, Chief Executive Officer Elon Musk and others who run the electric vehicle makers breached their fiduciary duty by fostering an environment of discrimination, harassment, and exposing Tesla to millions of dollars in potential liability. And this guy's a stockholder, so he wants to know, what are you doing about it? This toxic work environment has gestated internally for years, and only recently has the truth about Tesla's culture emerged, leading to legal action from government regulators and private parties alike, Chow said in the complaint. Tesla's toxic workplace culture has caused financial harm and irreparable damage to the company's reputation. And you know what? It has. They're all talking about California and the black guys they discriminated against and the Mexicans that they did, and it was not good. They're not good to minorities. They're not even good to white people. They're not good to anybody. Washington. The NHTSA finally releases its first report on crashes involving driver-assisted automated driving systems. For the first time, the nation's top safety award agency released data on crashes involving vehicles with advanced driver assist systems or automated driving systems being activated. NHTSA, cautioning that the data is preliminary and lacks proper context, said the vast majority of crashes of vehicles equipped with Level 2 ADAS were reported by Tesla Inc. and Honda Motor Company. So it's Tesla and Honda that's crashing with their automatic driving systems. The report comes after the NHTSA in June 2021 issued an order requiring vehicle equipment and software manufacturers of these ADAS vehicles and fully automated vehicles to report crashes where the system was engaged at least 30 seconds before the crash. In other words, they're driving without the driver. All right? This directive applies to vehicles equipped with Level 2 systems, those with driver assist features such as lane centering and adaptive cruise control. I have all that in my car. And Level 3 to Level 5 systems, which are not yet available to consumers but are being tested and deployed in a limited scale on public roads. You know what? There's self-driving cars out there. Don't give me that. The lane keeping and all that, the adaptive cruise control, don't give me that. They're out there driving them. They're making this happen. And I got to tell you that for the longest time, you didn't hear about any crashes of these vehicles. And now the NHTSA is clamping down on them. We got our new guy in charge. He's raising Cain is what he's doing. There's a group forming. I don't know how many of you like to stop and have a few beers after work and drive home, and you know you're not drunk, you had 2 beers, but legally you're probably blow bad. Well, a provision in the $1 trillion infrastructure law that they're pushing, orders the NHTSA to issue a final rule by November 24th that requires new vehicles to be equipped with advanced drunken and impaired driving prevention technology. Here in Illinois, there'll be no more smoking any pot while you're trying to drive.
Nice.
Well, you're not supposed to do it anyway, but
that's true.
I get a lot of cars in my shop that smell pretty bad. An independent group composed of auto safety experts and consumer advocates, of course, non-drinking consumer advocates, will assist with the development of a technology that could prevent drunken or impaired drivers from starting their vehicle. I don't really have a problem with this to a point. A provision in the $1 trillion infrastructure law orders the NHTSA to issue a final rule by November 24th, blah, blah, blah. The technical working group, co-chaired by Stephanie Manning, Chief Government Affairs Officer for Mothers Against Drunk Driving, MAD, and Jeffrey Michael, a former Associate Administrator at NHTSA, will be tasked with supporting efforts to ensure the requirement is fulfilled as soon as possible. Now, I know in Illinois, if you get a DUI, I've never had one, but if you get a DUI, they put this thing on your car so if you got to go to work so you can blow in it and proves you're sober and then you can drive. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine having to spit in that thing every time you want to drive your car, whether you're drunk or not? What if you don't drink? Are they going to have Eric, are they going to sell cars that are available for non-drinkers and drinkers or non-smokers and smokers of pot? I mean, come on. Is it going to be, I want a no impaired vehicle because I'm never impaired. I want an impaired vehicle because I'm likely to be impaired. I mean, what are you going to...
Yeah, right.
It's not going to be fair to the people that don't drink or don't smoke pot. Why do we have to pay? Why do we have to suffer for them? If we're impaired, let's see what the technology comes out with. It might be something very simple.
Yeah.
It might be the rearview mirror looks into your eyes and says, he's all right.
Or, they look into your driver's license just to see stuff. That way they could give it, I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. But they're going to, it's got to be fair for everybody. That's the only problem I have with it. If it's, for me, I don't drink and drive. So if it's for me, why would I have to have a car that would stop me from doing so?
Yeah. Just
in case someday I might? Well, I suppose, but that's 1 in a million chance. All right. Are you wondering about new vehicles? I keep telling everybody, I keep telling my friends, and I keep telling you listeners that I think we're being played. And man, new vehicle inventory in the U.S. stayed nearly flat in May from the previous month as supply disruptions and continued strong demand made it difficult to refill depleted stocks, according to data compiled by the Automotive News Research and Data Center and Cox Automotive. Put a third shift on. Cox said automakers and dealers had 1.13 million vehicles on hand. That's a 35-day supply, which is roughly the same day's supply figure that has been in place since January, Cox said. The figure is up 20,000 vehicles from the previous month, but still 30% below where inventory stood a year earlier. So we're 20,000 vehicles stronger, all right, and they shouldn't have to be charging you $3,000 over sticker to buy one. On a segment basis, Cox said the tightest inventories were found among most of the fuel-efficient offerings, including compact cars, hybrids, small crossovers, subcompacts, and minivans. And that, along with full-size pickups, full-size cars, had the highest delays supply figure. Why are we having... I have a lot of things that I can't answer. I have a lot of... Here we go to my speculation again. We're not going to do that. We're not going to speculate, Eric. I'd like to, but I won't.
Do it.
Oh, come on.
I'm just gonna,
and then I'll walk out this door and there'll be Rick with a shotgun. No, we can't have that.
I can't have that. No.
No, he might call us today, by the way. Just probably to shoot at me. Car buyers have been known now to go 500 miles, or nearly 500 miles, to buy a car. Just to buy a car. A recent survey found the average person was willing to travel up to 469 miles to purchase a used vehicle.
Round trip?
Round trip. No, that's one way. When Eric Nelson started searching for his car last fall, he knew he wanted a Subaru. And he had a great relationship with his dealership. He didn't know that he'd have to travel across the country to get it. Nelson purchased a 2017 Outback from Quantrell Subaru in Lexington, Kentucky in September, nearly 1,400 miles from his home in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. His reasoning for the trip, a car with great mileage for a great price that just couldn't be found closer to home. Oh, yes, it could. But you know what? They just won't let it. They're not releasing. It's not. And now, we're going to do a story here in a minute. Or when we come back, we'll do a story about their prices are ticking their way up. They're going up again. How can they go up any higher? It's virtually impossible to have our prices at any higher. The really dumb people are paying the big bucks now, but they're not that dumb. I think they're at the point where you're running out of dumb people, and there's not enough people that are that dumb to pay more. Yeah. Because this is not right. The prices we're paying are not correct. They're not fair. I told you before. Last year's statistics say dealers made more money than they ever did before. They sold less cars, Eric, but they made more money. This is a story from J.D. Power and Black Book talking about the wholesale used vehicle index prices show a slight seasonal increase in May. How in the world can you have a seasonal increase when they're already as high as they can get? Check this out. Indexes from J.D. Power and Black Book both show that wholesale used vehicle prices grew in May. They went up, as is typical in the spring selling season. But this isn't a typical spring selling season. But the growth was muted. Another indication that prices are not surging on the scale they did in 2021. In other words, they're not hosing us as bad. J.D. Power's used vehicle price index stood at 218.2 in May, up nearly 2% from April. Last year was a different story. That's when they really hosed us. The index showed wholesale vehicle prices rose 6.9% in May 2021 from April to 2022. Prices remain up. Are you ready for this, Eric? Prices remain up 20.4% year over year, according to J.D. Power's index. In other words, used cars are 20% higher than they absolutely should be. Not than they were. I don't want to hear that what they were. What they were was a fair asking price. Now they're stupidly priced. They're way overpriced. Used and new. Don't kid yourself. It's just nuts. And I got to tell you, I talk to dealers all the time, and I tell them, I say, are you getting any cars in? And well, we're not really ordering that many, just the ones that are prepaid, are bought, the ones that are bought already. I guess, according to the dealerships that I talk to, and the guys that know, and these are the guys that are CEOs of dealers and stuff. I don't talk to the little guys. I talk to the big guys. I always call up and say, I want to talk to the president of the company. I'm the president of my company. I want to talk to the president of your company. And the girl just gets a kick out of it and gives me the boss. Here's the deal. They are getting to the point where they want everybody to go Tesla sold model. The Tesla model of selling. They want the dealers they want you to order online. They want you to look these cars over. You might want to go down and road test one, but if you don't care to, you like the looks of it, you like the price of it, order it online and go pick it up. That's what they want. So they're trying to get these dealers not to have gazillion of cars in stock. But they still need to have enough cars in stock that if I want to go buy a doggone car and I want to buy a blue one, they've got a blue one that I can buy. Not that I can order for 6 weeks from now while they take my trade in and then I'm riding a bicycle for 6 weeks. They got it all crossways. It's not working out the way it should, trust me. All right, let's talk about electric vehicles. Let's talk about what's happening in our country with electric vehicles. The headline reads, the states are off to the races on EV charging system infrastructure, says an energy official. 928 car guys, if you want to weigh in on this. The federal government vows to move forward with a plan to build a nationwide charging network for electric vehicles. It's off to the races for states looking to soothe customer range anxiety. And everybody's got it in every state because they can't go with they can't. This is not going to be a federal government doing or going and buying chargers and putting them in the ground, says Michael Bruby. I don't know. A senior official at the U.S. Energy Department said of the strategy to build 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations by 2030 while funding from the $1 trillion infrastructure law. Yeah, right. Instead, the states are going to take charge of this, all right, and do it themselves. Well, that should work. Look how well everything works in Springfield and Illinois. Any place where you can put a public charger along the highway corridors is fair game. So that will be operated by the states, said Berube, who is Deputy Assistant Secretary for Sustainable Transportation in the Department's Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy. Well, who cares what your title is, Berube? Here's the deal. 500,000 charging stations? You know what that's good for? That 500,000 charging stations. They got more electric cars than that in California. Yeah. And if you don't have one per vehicle, you're going to have the problems are going to be you're going to have bad guys that are out robbing things, and they're going to want to charge their car up fast, and they're going to pull up, put a gun to your head, and say, "Get away from that charger," and charge their car. I mean, this is going to be the Wild West. People fighting for chargers. This isn't right. Why are you putting 1 million cars on the road when you don't even have 50,000 charging stations? You're putting 1 million electric cars, Eric. They're on the road, and 50,000 charging stations. Except for the ones, of course, they don't count the ones that are in your home.
Yeah.
But if they're in your home, you take a chance on that, like that Mustang or like the one Tesla, of poof. When they're charging, lithium ion is very, 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 very unsteady. Let's put it that way.
That's a good way to put it.
Unsteady. Yeah, we'll call it unsteady. All right.
Real quick, boss. Bill writes on Facebook saying batteries catching on fire.
Yes, he's exactly right.
Exactly like that.
It's spot on, Billy.